Welcome to the Real Estate Show, brought to you by Capital One Group, LLC. Eric Wilner, president of Capital One Group, LLC, is a highly trained financial professional. He helps clients to develop strategies for effectively utilizing real estate, mortgages, and related financial products to achieve a more secure financial future. For the real estate investor or the home buyer, he's able to provide expertise in matching the right properties and financing with your specific financial objectives. This show is dedicated to helping you find the safe and simple approach to buying income-producing real estate. If you have any questions about the program or to arrange a consultation, call toll-free 888-595-7779. That's 888-595-7779. Now, today's edition of The Real Estate Show.
And hello, South Florida. Hello to all of our listeners here in the AM 740 listening area, as well as the FM 96.9. And that's not to mention the rest of the real estate world out there listening to us on the internet. My name is Eric Wilner. It's time for another live worldwide edition of the Real Estate Show. And as I promised this week, we are going to have a very special guest. We have with us Mr. Gary Kissel, an international social selling speaker, strategist, and expert in the LinkedIn field, helping people to grow their business using LinkedIn. So first of all, good morning, Gary. How are you?
Good morning. It's great to be back, and I look forward to sharing more LinkedIn tips with your listeners.
Yeah, we got some nice feedback that people who listen to our program, at least they started paying more attention to their LinkedIn.
Oh, good.
Because most people have an impression of LinkedIn as being, a job search platform. But it's really a lot more, and we're going to get into that today. In fact, what we're also going to do is we're going to talk a little bit more about what LinkedIn can do for you in a lot of different areas, and in fact, and how it works with maybe some other social media platforms. But first, before we go on, for maybe some people who didn't listen to our program last week, give our listeners a little bit of background about what you did and how you got involved this way in LinkedIn.
Okay, sure. About 5 years ago, I left the corporate world and I wanted to build a real estate business, so that's appropriate for this show, correct? And
yes, it is.
So I chose the LinkedIn platform because it made the most sense to me, being a professional platform and one that has a higher income per person and also a higher education level. So I started finding investors via the platform that ended up buying properties from me, and they have been repeat buyers, and they're still asking me to find more properties for them. So the transition was a very successful one.
So, and by the way, what field were you in before in the corporate world?
I worked for DHL Airways for quite a while. I was a corporate trainer and some other hats. But
so training, in fact, is nothing new to you.
It's really my passion. So as I said, I originally started out building a real estate business, but I transitioned just a couple years ago into more coaching because I found so many professionals that are on this platform weren't really using it very effectively.
Yeah. In fact, I think a lot of people are still trying to get their arms completely around it, understanding what the capacity or what the capabilities of LinkedIn are. And it's kind of interesting. And, one of the things that we talked about that for me was sort of an aha is that you use your LinkedIn page sort of as a web page, as a landing page for people who want to know more about you.
I do. Yeah, I find it redundant to think about having a website in addition to my LinkedIn page because, as you mentioned, the platform has changed so much and it's a lot more robust now than it used to be when it was more considered of a job site kind of a platform.
And the subscriber base has grown tremendously.
About 8 times since I joined 5 years ago, and it's anticipating another 8 times what it is currently.
So what is that number, right, more or less?
Eventually, 3.2 billion people is the
subscribers to LinkedIn.
Correct. Yes.
Wow, that's just amazing, daunting numbers.
It really is.
So originally, LinkedIn people who tend to go on LinkedIn were what kind of people?
People looking for work. People looking for jobs. Professionals that were trying to upgrade or entering the job market. There's still 6 million jobs listed on LinkedIn, and recruiters play a very big role in LinkedIn's financial outcome.
So these recruiters, they're paying to have their jobs listed on LinkedIn.
Yeah, and some of them quite a bit. Some of them $800 a month or more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and it's kind of interesting because as I was looking, their LinkedIn to subscribe is free. So most of what we're going to talk about today, by the way, is all free.
Yes, it's still very robust on the free platform. The premiums do have benefits, but for the basic beginner, the free and basic version is quite adequate to really grow a network. Yeah, sure.
It'll get you there. But then if you look at the different plans, they have a plan if you're looking to network. They have a plan if you're looking to search for a job. They have different structures of different memberships, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So first of all, let's go to the basics, and then we'll build upon this.
Okay.
In LinkedIn, tell me 3 things that people aren't doing that they should be doing with their LinkedIn profile.
Okay, great question. The first thing that people aren't doing to a very great extent is putting themselves in the client's shoes. So they're addressing their profile to sort of a wish list audience, if you will. They don't really have a targeted audience in mind. So the idea of serving your client and solving the problem that they're seeking to have resolved is a fundamental mindset issue that many people aren't yet dealing with.
So I kind of gathered 2 things from that statement. Number one is that you need to identify who would be your ideal client.
Correct.
Create sort of an avatar, if you will, of who your ideal client would be, and then direct your message at that person.
Yes.
And the second thing that I got from that is that we often read things through our own eyes, but we need to be reading this as if our avatar or ideal client was reading it, and what would they interpret?
Exactly, and you want to make it interesting and talk their language. So, what is the problem that they want solved, or what is the service that they need accomplished, and how can you address that in your own unique way?
Yesterday I happened to be talking about the need for websites, particularly in the real estate investing business, and I was trying to emphasize the fact that we need 2 different websites. You need one that speaks directly to buyers, which is very different and distinct from what you say and how you deal with sellers.
Absolutely.
And especially if we're in the market, we're talking about sellers, which tend to be very motivated, maybe in some cases distressed. I have one message for them as opposed to the buyers, who are oftentimes financially sound people who are looking for rates of return and investment growth. So the language is different, the mood is different, the tone is different, and very much so we have to keep that in mind, for example, on the LinkedIn page.
Absolutely.
All right, so that's one of the things. What's something else that people aren't doing with their LinkedIn pages?
I think that many aren't really utilizing groups to the extent that it's a great opportunity. There's over 2 million groups that can be joined on LinkedIn. You're limited to 50, but again, you want to find those groups that are typically where your ideal client hangs out, as opposed to just other people in your same field.
Well, they say that birds of a feather tend to flock together.
Correct.
And so if you are good at identifying your target market, chances are there's places where that target client hangs out with other people of like mind and like goals.
Right, exactly.
So the groups is a great thing, and it says you're limited to 50, but some of those groups might be small, but some of the groups are pretty big.
Some of them are over 1 million people, so it's not unusual to be able to reach several million people through the use of your groups effectively.
Okay, and I want to come back because groups is a really strong feature in the LinkedIn. But we need to go ahead and take a quick break, hear a few words from our sponsors. After all, you are listening to The Real Estate Show. My name is Eric Wilner, and we're going to hear a few words from our sponsors. We've got more for you right after these words.
Today's real estate market is full of questions. Eric Wilner and Capital One Group LLC have the answers. Call today for a no-obligation consultation and get the facts. 888-595-7779. That's 888-595-7779. You'll learn the safe and simple approach to buying income-producing real estate. And you'll find out how to get the right real estate investments for your specific investment objectives. Plus, you'll have immediate access to cutting-edge mortgage and financing products. Be sure to ask about free property management on select investment properties. Call today for your no-obligation consultation and get the facts. 888-595-7779. Toll free, 888-595-7779.
I said, damn, there's traffic jam. Well, there you are, sitting in traffic like thousands of other motorists listening to Eric Wilner's Real Estate Show. Here's a thought. If you're listening, so are potential customers and clients. Radio advertising works. So become an advertiser or sponsor guest on Eric's show. Get your message heard. Call 1-888-595-7779. That's 1-888-595-7779. Your customers and clients are waiting to hear from you. Said, damn, there's traffic jam. Call 1-888-595-7779.
Are you paying for a home that is losing value every month? Do you owe $400,000 and your home is worth only $300,000 and still dropping? Do you want to know more about what the government is doing to help you? You have options. Don't just give up or walk away. Know your rights. Fight back. Fistel Law Firm can help you. Call for a free consultation today. 954-522-1212. 954-522-1212. Or on the web, fistel.com.
Hello, listeners. This is Eric Wilner, your host of The Real Estate Show. Exciting news. We now have a Facebook page. Now, this is an opportunity for us to share with you photos and videos and interviews and lots more information on a regular basis on our Facebook page. But to make it really exciting, we want your input. We want your comments, and most of all, we want your likes. And that will make us a much better radio show, and our Facebook page will be a real resource for you. So check us out at facebook.com/The Real Estate Show. That's facebook.com/The Real Estate Show. And give us a thumbs up.
This is The Real Estate Show, brought to you by Capital One Group LLC in Boca Raton with your host, Eric Wilner. If you have any questions about the broadcast, call toll-free, 888-595-7779. That's 888-595-7779. Now, back to today's show.
And welcome back. For those of you who might just be joining us, you are listening to The Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program and South Florida's longest-running radio show all about real estate. Also, the country's longest-running daily radio show all about real estate. And we try to bring to you as much content and important information that you can use in your real estate investing, but you can also use it in whatever field that you may be in, perhaps make more money and then buy more real estate. Mm-hmm. Today, I have with me a very special guest, Gary Kissel, who is a LinkedIn expert, a coach, known and coaching all around the world. And we were just talking about that you may be changing venues, and what you do, you could do from anywhere. So really, it wouldn't matter.
I can help people, virtually anywhere around the world, and I do. I have people in Europe and South America and Central America and elsewhere. So
executives of all types. So we were talking about 3 things that people aren't using of LinkedIn. So it's a very feature-rich platform for you to network and build a network and be able to find the ideal types of clients. In fact, I was thinking about this during the break, that just by virtue of the fact, as we said in the beginning of the program, you don't have a standard website. Correct. LinkedIn is your website, and it allows you to do everything, to host, to post, to have a blog, to have videos and so forth. So there's not much that you can do with a website that you can't do with LinkedIn. So we were talking about that being the case. And it also, what it also does, it automatically sort of screens out. If you're not serious enough and professional enough to get on LinkedIn, they're not your kind of client anyway.
True.
So it's a sort of a natural filter there. I thought that was actually kind of interesting.
It is.
So out of the 3 things that we talked about or are talking about that people are not doing with their LinkedIn that they should be. We talked, number 1 is to make sure that you word and present yourself to your ideal client.
Correct.
That you word it in such a way that you understand and read it through their eyes.
Very important.
The next thing we talked about is to get hooked into groups, and these are topical groups.
Yes.
Where your ideal client would also hang out.
Correct.
What's the next one?
The next one is one that probably most people are reluctant to really accomplish to a full extent, and that is to optimize their profile. When I begin coaching clients, that's the one that takes the longest, and yet it's very essential to have your profile optimized, because when you start connecting, then you want to be impressive to the people that are finding you. But many people have the tendency to want to connect first, optimize later.
So define optimizing your profile.
It's simply taking advantage of all the different sections that LinkedIn offers for you. So you have your education, you have your experience, you have your honors and awards, your publications, and on and on and on. There's quite a variety of things that can be added, and you can be very creative with that and move things around to support your strengths and minimize your weaknesses.
And in each one of those sections, for example, the very top of the page, and certain things are flexible. Certain things are sort of set in stone with LinkedIn. So it starts out with your photo at the top.
Correct.
And of course, that's sort of a basic.
Yeah, it's the first thing they see.
How many people don't? You made a comment about what percentage of people
I
don't even
believe
put
it's
a photo.
around 10%. Yeah.
10% didn't even put a photo.
So they're not even swinging the bat,
Exactly. So then you have that very top part where your name and your photo is, and that is sort of your headline,
Correct.
And you should treat it like a headline. I mean, it should be an attention-grabbing.
It follows you around wherever you're posting or you're commenting, even on Google. In a Google search, your headline will show there as well.
Okay. So then, right below that, you have posts.
And
by the way, you just recently posted something 2 days ago.
I did.
And which, for those of you out there listening to, if you want to go to Gary's LinkedIn page and see what he's doing, it's Gary Kissel. That's Kissel. Look that up in LinkedIn. Now, under the posts, you have a post called the 3 Essential Keys for an Effective LinkedIn Profile. And you have a number of posts, and then you have people who follow you, who follow your posts.
Correct.
That's different than your connections.
It is different, and it's also a unique feature that LinkedIn opened up to all of its members about 2 years ago. However, still only 1 million of its 400 current members,
400 million.
400 million of their current members are utilizing.
So 1/400th of the population is using this. So if you want to stand out, just go here and put in some interesting posts.
Share something of value, something that you know a lot about, your industry, or tips are always very popular. So it becomes a permanent part of your profile and helps you distinguish yourself from the others.
So the next section on your page is background. Now, most people would when they think of background, they would start putting, I was a Boy Scout. I graduated from this school and graduated from that school. And you have what it looks to me sort of like a selling page.
It is. It's got a call to action. It's speaking to the issues that my ideal client is concerned about. And what I'm trying to do is seek to engage them and eventually establish a long-term relationship with the reader.
I like that. And so even though there are these hard and fast sections, the content that you can put in there, you got to use it to your best advantage. So I like that, because it talks about the who, what, when, and how of what the services are that you offer, and followed by some testimonials.
And then video and different kinds of media can be added as well, including PowerPoint. So you can tell your message in a number of ways.
Then below that comes awards and honors, and then it comes experience. So don't confuse background and experience, because you can use your background to sell your message.
Yes.
And then under experience, then you can give all the other stuff that, should somebody want to look and find out, what credentials do you have to be the expert, they can go there and look at that as well. Is there a limit to how much space? Because it looks like there's a lot of stuff there.
Well, in the summary, there's 2,000 characters, and in the experience, I believe it's currently 1,000 characters. So you can be very descriptive, and you should be, because the words are all searchable. So for your search engine optimization, it's great to take advantage of it.
So one of the concerns that some people might have, it just dawned on me. What if how do I make sure that they find you on LinkedIn?
Well, you want to be found, and you want to find those people that you want to do business with. So it works two different ways. And again, choosing the keywords to be found for the areas of your skill is important. But then also being like in those groups that we talked about to find where your ideal client can connect with you.
Now, what about cross marketing? Using other platforms. And any other platforms work well with LinkedIn to sort of draw the ideal person towards me?
In the last year, I've been using Twitter quite a bit because there are limitations on LinkedIn about contacting people if you don't know their email, for example. So I found that on Twitter, you can go and you can direct message anyone on that platform and then invite them to connect with you on LinkedIn. So I use it that way, and then I also post frequently on Twitter and have about 40,000 followers there.
So you use Twitter as one more sort of a net to catch people who are interested in certain subjects and certain topics, and then direct them back over to your LinkedIn, which has all the detail and all the information about you.
Yeah, I do. And Twitter, has an opportunity for you to put a message in there, a direct message that people can respond to. So, for example, mine says, I help people monetize their LinkedIn. Are you interested in my service? And I get responses and leads from that.
One other thing that when you and I were having a session together, we talked about you had certain templated responses and replies. Mm-hmm. And so let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, you can't do it all. So one way to save time and to be able to, expand your outreach is to create templates, as you said, that are messages that you can reuse. Maybe tweak them with a different name or a different item inside the message. But basically, I have my templates in the Word platform, and then I can just copy and paste and send out many more messages than I would if I had to type them all, individually.
If you're a regular listener to this radio program and you know that the very website that is my main website is the Automatic Landlord. I'm very big on automating things.
Absolutely.
And anything that I do more than 3 times, you ought to have a system to automate it and not have to really think it through. So
exactly.
I think that that's really key. So in the eyes of someone out there looking at your LinkedIn page, what are what do you think would be a good habit when you advise your clients? How much time? Because, between Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and your website and blogging and all this other stuff.
It can be overwhelming for sure.
All of a sudden you say, I can't, where do I start, or how break it down for the average person, what they can do in chewable bite sizes.
Right. Well, I've found that, it doesn't take a lot of time, but it needs to be a very directed time. So I suggest as a strategy a 30-minute a day usage of LinkedIn, and basically you're responding to the notifications that happen within your network. Mm-hmm. So if people are getting new jobs or if they're posting articles, then you want to respond and engage. Very important, because you're building these conversations, these relationships over time. You have the people that want to get into your network, so those are your invites, and then you have your messages that can be opportunities for you. So that's a 30-minute.
Engage and interact.
Exactly.
Well, Gary, time flies when you're having fun, and as you can see that we're out of time again. But for anyone who wants to check out, go to LinkedIn and look up Gary Kissel. That's Kissel. And you can see exactly what he does, and certainly reach out to him if you have more questions about LinkedIn and how it can be useful, very useful in your business. And you can even talk to him about how LinkedIn can make you money. And that's let
me just offer a 10-minute free evaluation if you mention the real estate show.
Nice, very nice. So mention the real estate show, and Gary will have a complimentary conversation about you. Well, we're out of time until tomorrow. Everybody out there, drive safe and make it a great day.
Thanks for listening to The Real Estate Show, brought to you by Capital One Group LLC in Boca Raton. Eric Wilner and Capital One Group LLC are available to assist you with your financial needs. If you have any questions about today's program or to arrange a consultation, call toll-free at 888-595-7779. That's 888-595-7779. And join us every day at the same time right here on AM 740 WSBR, South Florida's Money Talk Radio. The opinion